Hey guys, thanks for joining me. I wanted to start reading the Bible. And if you're here, I guess that means you do too. We're going to start with Genesis today and we're going to read chapter 1. But before we do that, let's read the introduction. Okay? It says, the word Genesis means beginnings. The book of Genesis is about many beginnings. The beginning of the universe, the beginning of man and woman, the beginning of human sin, the beginning of God's promises and plans for salvation, and the beginning of a special relationship between Abraham and God. Genesis tells us about God's special people and his plan for their lives. Some of these people are Adam and Eve, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and of course, Joseph and his brothers. Genesis is the first book in what is called the Pentateuch, a word that means 5 books and indicates the first 5 books of the Bible. These books are also known as the books of law because they contain God's instructions and laws for the people of Israel. Genesis is included because it tells the history of how Israel became God's special people. These 5 books were most likely written by Moses, except for the last chapter of Deuteronomy, which tells about Moses' death. Okay? So let's start with chapter 1. Ready? Read. If you have your Bible, you can join me. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above it. And it was so. God called the expanse sky, and the evening, and there was morning, and the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered to one place, and let the ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let there be land. Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. The land produced vegetation and plants bearing seeds according to their kinds, and tree bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was the evening and the morning, the third day. We're on third day. God's working, you guys. He's working. And God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark seasons and days and years. And let them be lights in the expanse of the sky to give lights on the earth." And it was so. God made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, the 4th day. And God said, "Let the waters teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea and everything living and moving with which the waters teem, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, the 5th day. And God said, "Let the land produce creatures according to their kind, livestock, creatures that move along the ground, wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kind, the livestock according to their kind, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image." That's where we come in our likeness, and let him rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food, and to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds of the air, and all the creatures that move on the ground, everything that has breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. God created all that he had made. It was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day. And that's where we'll stop. That is chapter 1. Wow. And it was good. Keep that in your mind.